Prince Sonto used all the princesses his father married to him as punching bags. Part 5 of Ifeoma and the Cursed Prince. Ifeoma and the other few women who passed the screening were assigned a duty that was to be kept secret because the king didn't want the entire kingdom to know about his son's irrational behavior. "I have arranged for my son to marry a princess from the neighboring kingdom," King Shaba announced. "I want you all to be at his beck and call. However, whatever the prince says or does is to be kept within this walls." He gave his last instructions and sent them away. Ifeoma's job was to clean Prince Sonto's room and attend to his needs. The first time she laid eyes on the prince was a tragic moment for her. Prince Sonto was very aggressive and abusive. He threw tantrums for no reason and acted like a little child when things do not go his way. Palace guards always had to accompany anyone who wanted to enter Prince Sonto's room in order to prevent him from attacking the person without warning. The wedding ceremony King Shaba arranged between his son Prince Sonto and the princess from the neighboring kingdom turned out to be a great success. Prince Sonto was in his best behavior because his father had promised to give him anything he wanted. The representatives from the other kingdom were showered with bountiful gifts. Gold and diamonds filled many pots as a token of appreciation from King Shaba to the princess's family. After the ceremony was over, the princess was escorted to the prince's chamber, where she is to be deflowered by the prince. 2 weeks later, the princess cried out to the king that Prince Sonto hasn't touched her or said anything to her since the day of their wedding. When Prince Sonto heard what the princess said to his father, it angered him so much. He waited for the princess to return to his room before he rained, beating on her. By the time the palace guards could drag the princess out of the room, she was almost lifeless. Ifeoma watched all these things that happened in front of her. She kept it to herself since it was forbidden for her to speak of it to anyone. Every night when she went home, and her mother asked her about the palace, she would lie and say all was well. Mama Ifeoma was recovering gradually, and this made Ifeoma very excited. Meanwhile, the princess returned to her people, and another wedding between Prince Sonto and a princess from a faraway kingdom was planned. This new marriage didn't last long. The princess from the faraway kingdom ran to the king's quarters one night after Prince Sonto nearly pushed her from the balcony because she touched his bare back when he was taking off his robe. After many more efforts and trials from King Shaba to make his son settle down and give him a grandchild, the king put a stop to all the marriage arrangements before his son would kill another man's daughter. When King Shaba was in his son's room, he noticed how his son's face lit up when a singing voice came out of the garden. For the first time, he saw his son Prince Sonto, beaming and humming to the song with a relaxed expression. King Shaba wondered if he had found the solution to his problems. He looked through his son's window and saw Ifeoma singing and dancing in the garden. "Sonto," the king called, "look at how beautiful this maid is. Don't you think she would make a good wife?" The king looked back at his son, who was still humming the wonderful melody. Prince Sonto had never looked out his window in search of the owner of the melodious voice that calms him down every time. When King Shaba left his son's room, he ordered for Ifeoma to be brought to his quarters. Ifeoma was at home with her mother when several palace guards arrived at their home to inform her of the king's order.